be so much dependable on others, right? So for that, we have to achieve something. So for achieving something, we need to self-regulate ourselves. That is where this whole FDP is really concentrated on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me just see to our next eminent speaker. Just give 2 minutes time from my side. I have to take and I have to invite them. Just 2 minutes.
I'm here.
Achha, okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes, Dr.
Good morning,
Fareen.
ma'am. How are you,
Good
ma'am?
morning.
I'm sorry that I'm being
all right.
occupied in the session. I was not able to put an immediate email to you.
That's all right. That's all right. Completely all right.
Fine.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Let me introduce you to the audience.
Yeah.
Dr. Sabiha Hashami currently teaches linguistics in the School of Humanities and Social Sciences in IIT Goa. She has been a student of linguistics since 2006 and she is passionate about the subject. Areas that are utmost interest to her are contact linguistics, sociolinguistics, and sociology of language. She is also interested in the areas of language endangerment, gender studies, and culture studies. Interactions between language and society is the broad area in which she places her research. In her PhD, she worked on language contact and emergence of a new variety of Hindi in Bihar and Jharkhand. She was awarded PhD in June 2016, and she has been there in IIT Goa for the last 3 years. She has published several research articles and presented papers in national and international conferences and published in so many refereed journals. Madam has not given a point here. The point is she has been associated in an intercontinental project. Actually, she has not revealed to you, but actually it is very much important that I have to say that she is working on great projects, that she is associated with a foreign project. Thank you, ma'am. Being here and being in the part of this program, the session is yours. Please take on.
Thank you so much, Dr. Fareen, and for this very generous introduction that you have given me. And please, all of you can refer to me as Sabiha. Most of you are my seniors and in this field of research and teaching. So I'll prefer if you all call me Sabiha. Thank you. So with your permission, Dr. Fareen, shall we begin the presentation now?
Yes, ma'am. Please carry on.
Yes. So I'm audible. I suppose I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Of course, of course.
Yes. Yes. I'm just closing my video because the problem with the bandwidth.
No issues.
Yes. So in this lecture today, we will first know what are soft skills and how are they different from hard skills. Different characteristics or qualities that are part of the soft skills set. Then we will elaborate a little on these qualities and how we can apply them to our lives and workplaces. Then we will take a small discussion on ethics in workplace, and we will know a little more about how to be ethical, how to practice ethics in our workplace. And last but not the least, we will talk about professionalism and traits that are associated with professionalism. Okay, so now let's begin. And first of all, before we begin, I'd like to thank Dr. Fareen and the institute, the your institute in Jabalpur. I would like to thank you and your institute for inviting me over and making me a part of this program. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the participants as well. Now let's begin this. So I hope my slides are visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let me just put it on slideshow. Yes. Yes. So what are soft skills? Have you ever fancied about it or thought about it that people often talk about soft skills, but you will hardly ever see that in any of the employment notices or employment advertisements, you will hardly ever see anything mentioned about soft skills. You will see they mention as job requirements, they mention degrees, certificates, diplomas, educational criteria. Educational criteria, also experience, the kind of experience and the number of years that you need to have. But there are very few or maybe less than few associations or industries or institutions where you will find that they advertise, when they advertise for job recruitment, they advertise or they talk about having skills like communication or having skills like being able to negotiate, having interactive skills, being creative and innovative, and such other skills. Is if, and especially if people are not working in the area of say hospitality and tourism or services sector, where like they are providing first hand, people who are on the front desk of these sectors, for example, people who work in the spas or restaurants or in the resorts. For them, you will see that they talk about having good communication skills and interactive skills, everything. But you will hardly see for other jobs, like for example academic jobs, that people talk about communication skills, or people talk about being good at negotiation, being good at cultural communication, being able to talk to people who come from diverse backgrounds in terms of, and who are very different from us culturally, in terms of age, in terms of education, in terms of experience that they bring with them. So precisely this is what is soft skills. Soft skills help us to manage ourselves in presence of other humans. So precisely how we interact with other humans depends on the kind of soft skills that we possess. And of course, they are not mentioned explicitly, but they bring about a lot of weight in anybody's resume if they possess these qualities. And they have a lot of impact, and they affect your career right from the beginning till the very end. And especially as you move towards managerial positions or higher up in administrative positions, where you have to negotiate with more people and communicate with more people, interact and deal with more people. These are required more and more. Yes. So let's see what are the differences between hard skills and soft skills. So hard skills, these are skills that are known to us as skills. These are skills. Yeah, I'm getting chat messages also from all of you. My screen is not visible. Okay, it is visible.
It's visible. Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Okay, maybe there was some problem with internet. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So hard skills are the skills that we know about and that are talked about, that are required, essential requirements. When you see any job advertisement, you see essential requirement. So those essential requirements are hard skills. Those are the skills or knowledge that we acquire in any particular area of study, profession, expertise. For example, software engineers learn coding, Lawyers do gain legal knowledge. Historians know about history. Chefs learn cooking, and so on. So having the domain knowledge of the area of expertise that you want to work in, and that you want to make your profession. So that is acquiring the hard skill, the skills that are required for you to function in that area. Hard skills make you suitable for a particular type of work. So if you are a history major, then you will go into research in history, and you will gradually become a historian if you continue. So it makes you suitable for a particular type of work. Now, soft skills are pragmatic sense of human situations and ability to apply your innate qualities to make it favorable for you and your work. For example, being respectful, being mindful of other people's situations in life, being sensitive towards gender or ethnic differences or disability. These are things that are not explicitly taught to us in schools. Now we are starting with value education in many schools, or earlier also when we were kids, we used to have moral science. But these are things that are innate to human beings. Being nice to others, being respectful to others, understanding other people's problem, negotiating, trying to make peace, trying to communicate with people the way that is easy for them to understand. All of these are pragmatic things that human beings, just by the virtue of living in the society, when we socialize, we start gaining. And this depends on our personal ability as well as on our environment, how much we enhance them and how we can make them or put them to our maximum use in our workplace, especially. Now, soft skills are required in all types of workplaces. For example, whether you do a history major or you do law or you do coding, you will need soft skills in all industries and all areas of work. Whether you go into service industry or you go into agriculture or you go into any field, wherever you are interacting and managing human beings, you will need soft skills. Now, what are certain soft skills? Like, now let's talk about certain soft skills that are required to excel in workplace. So first of all, and for us to become successful professionals, what are the soft skills? So first of all, communication. After I tell you about this, I'll be elaborating a little on all of these. So communication, interaction, teamwork, leadership, listening, innovation, creativity, and problem solving skills. Now, communication. So let me ask you a question. What do you think is communication? What do you think is communication? What do
with other people?
you think is communication? I'm trying to type message, but I'm unable to type it here. Okay, I'm unable to type in the chat box. I don't know what is the problem. But can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. So
Clearly, we are able to hear you.
if you all can hear me, you can unmute yourself and reply.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, now I can type. Now,
with one another.
okay, what is
Interacting with one another.
Ma'am, it is sharing of info. Ma'am, it is
according to
sharing and ma'am, may I?
Yeah, please. Sharing or exchanging information, ideas, or feelings.
Information, ideas, emotions, maybe through, I mean, it is through a medium of expression, maybe using verbally or through sign language or symbols, or expressing through graphs, visual communication. So basically, it is an exchange of information and
Different
feelings
forms.
and emotions through a medium.
Okay. So most of the people agree that communication is exchange of information, and that information can be regarding your feelings, can be regarding any thing out there, any information that you want to share with people, or can be about yourself, your feelings, your ideas, your emotions, right? So that is pass our ideas and views to others. Okay, so this is also something that you are saying. So communication for most of the people here is exchange of information. Information can be of any kind. It can be personal, it can be about your feelings, it can be about some hard facts in the world. But do you know communication, there is also other purposes that while we are communicating it through language, we are fulfilling it. What are the, do you have any idea, like tell me what are the other essential roles that are fulfilled by language while we are communicating, apart from exchanging information?
Emotion.
It is very, very easy. Yeah, emotions, you said that we interact and we, that is exchanging information about our emotional self, about our personal self, about the hard facts in society. There is war going on in Afghanistan, so that's also information. Or I'm sick, that is also an information. So apart from exchanging information, what are the other purposes that we serve while we are communicating without even knowing? We do it all the time, we do it, and everybody does it.
Sharing
Everybody,
knowledge.
all of you.
Ma'am,
Sharing
we
knowledge.
instruct,
That is part of sharing information, gaining knowledge.
we instruct.
And of course, no, yeah, knowledge of what kind? Is it only what is shared, knowledge of that, or knowledge
Social
of anything
and
else
cultural
more
views.
than that?
It
Our
can be
attitude,
your
our
personality,
behavior.
your personality, your non-verbal
Exchange.
things, non-verbal
Yes,
smile,
your yes,
smile,
your
your
personality,
facial
your
expressions.
Mind reading. Is
a
it?
very yes. What did you say?
Reading.
Attitude and behavior, somebody is saying. Yes, yes. So one very important thing that I want to tell you that we all do when we are communicating is that we establish relationships. Even when you are traveling on trains and you are interacting with somebody who is a stranger, complete stranger, then what do? Why do we start talking? Because it makes human beings very awkward when we are sitting next to each other and we are not talking. So just to establish a friendly relation, we start communicating. We start talking about something neutral like weather, mausam ka hal chal, yeah, or something like that, about food or something. And we also, in a way, when we establish these relations, we also set boundaries. That's the way society organizes itself. You don't talk in the same way to your children the way you talk to your parents, and you don't talk the same way to your siblings, your brothers and sisters, the way you talk to your in-laws, right? Even if you are sharing the same information, you will be using different kind of language that in linguistics we call register. So we employ appropriate language for the social context, diverse teams, regions, and culture. We establish relationships, we maintain relationships, and we learn a lot about each other through communication, about our socio-economic background, about our regional background. For example, somebody is speaking very spick and span public school English. You automatically know that this person went to some good public school. If somebody is speaking in Hindi and somebody uses a regional variety of Hindi, you will automatically understand that this person comes from Delhi, or this person comes from Lucknow, or this person comes from Hyderabad, just by listening to their Hindi. They are not even telling you that they come from this state or this region, just by listening to that. So by communicating, we also, when we are communicating through language, we also communicate what kind of relationship we would like to establish with the other person, and also convey about our cultural and social background. So it involves having knowledge of language and of cultural social values associated with the use of different linguistic forms. To be a good communicator, we need to not only have a command of language, but also know about cultural and social values that are associated with using different linguistic forms. As I just said, you don't talk the same way to your parents the way you talk to your children. Even if we are using the same language, the registers will be very different. You will use more honorific terms for your parents, which you will not use for your children. And similarly, in your workplace, you will not use the same language when you are speaking in faculty meeting and when you are having coffee breaks with your colleagues. When you are having coffee breaks with your colleagues, you will speak in very informal ways. You might call them jokingly by some nicknames. That is all appropriate and fine because you are colleagues and friends. But when you are sitting in faculty meeting and it is a formal environment, you are supposed to switch to a more formal language. Why? Because the situation demands that. That's how human beings employ language in different forms and registers to suit different social situations. And nowadays, communication is not only about face-to-face interaction. We hardly have face-to-face interactions now since the pandemic has set in. So mostly it is online. So it's very important for us to also know that how to communicate effectively online, as nowadays most of the communication is taking place online. So being able to write good emails and text messages is very important. Employing appropriate etiquette, that is netiquette, the etiquette that you should show when you are communicating with somebody online on the internet. That is very important. Now let me tell something about netiquettes. So what are netiquettes or online etiquettes? Etiquettes of online communication. There are certain important rules that we need to follow when we are writing emails or text messages or posting something on social media. All of this is covered by netiquette. Make sure identification is clear in all communication. When you are writing to somebody, writing an email to somebody, never forget to write the subject. Never forget to address the person who is going to receive it. Dear so-and-so, or sir or ma'am, dear sir, dear ma'am, or dear professor so-and-so. So always address the person you are writing to. And at the end, please, we are all supposed to sign off by writing our names. After regards, we write our names so that the person who is receiving the email knows from whom it is coming and for whom it is destined for, who is supposed to have this communication and from whom this communication is coming. Now, before you send, we should always review what we have written and interpret it objectively. For example, a lot of people have this habit of writing in caps. When they are writing or they emphasize on certain words, they'll use caps, that is capital letters, to emphasize on those words. But when we are sending it online and the other person doesn't know about your emotional state or your excitement or anything, your happiness, then they might interpret it as anger, because many people also use caps when they want to emphasize on something in anger. And you might even appear to them as pushy. So when we are writing something and we are sending it, because they are unable to see our facial expressions, they cannot see you. They are just receiving something that you have written. So we are supposed to read it again and then interpret it objectively without any biases. That the person who is receiving is going to receive the right message or not, what I intend to tell or not. Then another thing is that if you wouldn't say it face to face, don't say it online. Many people post a lot of things online that they would never say face to face. So we should never do that. That is very offensive. And always use respectful language with everybody, online, offline, wherever. Don't spam people. Like many people have the habit of replying to emails as reply all. It is not necessary. If it is not required for everybody to see that email, we are not, we shouldn't be clicking on reply all. That will be spamming. Then share information with discretion online, because if it is on internet, it can be anywhere, and anybody can access it. So when you are revealing your personal information or that of anybody else, then please do that with discretion. Only share what you can share in public. Respect other people's privacy. So without asking other people, never post anything regarding them, their career, their house, their home, their relationships, their photographs, nothing. Fact check before reposting. This is very important, because we all know that a lot of people keep posting fake news. So checking with the facts, it's very important before we post anything on social media or we forward anything. And never forget to make real people a priority. Many people get lost when they are into, they get into their mobile phones and laptops and forget that outside there is a real world. You have a family, you have a job, a career, everything, and there are real people to interact with. So one should never forget that. So these are certain things, certain rules of effective and nice use of internet and internet communication. Now interaction. So why interaction is important as soft skill? Interaction is important as soft skill because our interactions make the workplace environment. Our workplace environment becomes as good or as bad as our interactions are. It is very important to be polite, respectful, and courteous to our colleagues. And at the same time, it is important to try to create an environment that is just and equally supportive of everyone. For example, women should be encouraged more to participate. If there is any discussion taking place, they should be encouraged to participate, because naturally a lot of women are subdued, and culturally they are supposed to be subdued and not answer back, not barge in when people are speaking. So giving them a chance to speak is very important, and giving everybody a chance to speak is very important. And quality of human interactions at workplace determines the level of employee satisfaction and productivity. Because when your interactions at workplace are fulfilling, you feel satisfied, you feel like you are part of this institution, you feel like working more, and you become more productive. You feel like you own this. This is yours. Why? Because of the human interaction that is taking place in that environment. People make you feel that you are part of us. This institution is a part of you. All of this is only able when we interact well with each other. So our interactions at the workplace set the tone for the culture that will be established in the institution for the days to come. So important qualities here are empathy, sensitivity to culture, differences in culture, gender, age, and situation. And accordingly, we need to interact with people in appropriate ways. You understand, empathy is very important. When somebody is, for example, sick or going through a bad phase, if we can empathize with them and we can understand how they feel, then our interactions will be of a different level and they can feel it. So especially if you are in managerial position or if you are somebody who is a teacher, empathy is very important. Because if you empathize with your students and their problems, or with your colleagues and their problems, in turn they will also empathize with you, and it will make a very holistic and fulfilling relationship between teacher and student and colleagues as well. Now teamwork. This is very important soft skill again. So the capacity to work in teams is an asset in any employee, anybody who works in any industry. If you know how to work in teams and work well with people who come from different backgrounds, because nowadays you have transatlantic teams also. Just now, Dr. Fareen said that I am working in an international project also. So that project is from University of Minnesota, and they have American colleagues, they have African colleagues, they have Asian colleagues. and European colleagues. So it is transcontinental. So we will have people on team who come from very diverse backgrounds, very different backgrounds. In certain cultures, for example, if you are having teammates who come from different cultural backgrounds, in certain cultures, it is all right to touch human beings, to hug people when you meet them. In certain other cultures, it is not. So it is important to be mindful of that difference and not be judgmental. For example, Japanese people don't hug each other at once when they meet. They bow down. Or in India, we do namaste. So we are equally civilized as Americans who may hug when they meet somebody for the first time. It is just cultural differences. And everybody acts according to the culture where they were raised. So we need to be mindful of these cultural differences. And therefore, when we are interacting with people in diverse teams, it's always better to be a little distant, restrained, polite, and respectful. Before we get to know them better, we should avoid touching or getting too familiar with people, asking them personal questions. Like in India, it is all right if people ask you whether you are married or not. But in Europe, if you ask somebody whether you are married or not, it will be taken to be an intrusive question. Why? Because the kind of bonding that we have here with neighbors or with even with strangers, somebody can ask you this question on train. Not because they want to make fun of you or want to know about your personal life, because they are concerned. In general, in India, people are concerned about each other. And we don't think too much about personal space. We think that I'm doing it in a well-meaning way. I just want you to be happy. That's why I'm suggesting you. So that is appropriate to in our culture, in our society, but it might not be appropriate in other cultures and other societies. And these are just cultural differences. It doesn't make any culture good or any culture bad or any less than each other. Yes. So for being a good team worker, we need to have the spirit of community in the team. So what is the team spirit? Your loss is my loss, one for all and all for one. So we share tasks, we share responsibility, we share accountability. We are all accountable for the task that is assigned to the group. We cannot say that ye iska kaam tha, ye uska kaam tha. We cannot say that this was assigned to this person or this was assigned to that person. It was assigned to the group. So everybody is responsible. Within the group, you may distribute work, but that is within the group. When you are presenting as a group, everybody is responsible for everything. As I said, one for all and all for one. Helping and cooperating with each other to finish the task and not competing. So this is very important for teamwork, that we don't compete within the team. Like we don't try to pull each other down or get better than each other in a wrong way. Trying to get better than each other or competing in the right way is always right. But putting others down and not helping or not cooperating in the team so that my work outshines everybody else's work, that's not right. So this is about teamwork. Now leadership. Leadership is a very important soft skill. And a lot of people in high managerial positions or administrative positions, they require this in order to manage people. Because as you move ahead on the ladder, more and more interactions you will have with other human beings who are very different from you and who come from very different experiences, like who hold very different kind of experiences. For example, if you are somebody who is say vice chancellor or somebody who is director of an institution, then you will be interacting with people who are coming from humanities background, people who are coming from social sciences, who are coming from sciences, engineering, technology, diverse fields, and in all these fields also from different areas and with different experiences that they have. Some coming from abroad, research scholars coming from abroad, teams that are spread across continents. So what do you do? How do you manage? For this, you need a very good leadership skills. So what are the qualities that make a good leader? Lead by example. That is very important. Never ask others to do what you think you know that you cannot do. somebody a task that you yourself will not be able to finish in the same time duration that you are asking the others to do. Be just, always be just. Insaf, as we say in Hindi. So that is something that is very important, being just. Be polite. Even though you are in leadership position, be polite to everybody. Even if people are working under you, people are subordinate, still be polite and be humble. Listen to other people's opinions. Always listen to other people's opinions. When you are having a group meeting, if you are the group leader, even then you should always try to listen to everybody's opinions. Why? Because each person has a different kind of ability. Each person will come up with a different solution. Every person will have a different outlook and a different perspective of looking at the same problem. So if we minimize that interaction and we don't let people give their opinions, we are minimizing the solutions and the innovations that we can get. So listening to others is very important. Being accountable. Hold yourself accountable first of all. A good leader is the one who takes responsibility, who holds himself or herself accountable for good and for bad. For good, you will of course distribute it to the team. It is because of the team that we won. But if we lose, then the leader, a good leader will be somebody who takes the responsibility. That it was my leadership under which we lost. So being accountable is very important. You inspire people when you become accountable because you inspire them to become responsible. Be available for your people. And when you are making any decisions, always make it by consensus and not by force. A natural leader is somebody who is a leader by consensus, not by force. That's why many people say that leaders are born. Because they have natural talent of being a leader. This is also a talent, but nobody can say that you cannot enhance these skills and you cannot become better. Of course, there is always scope to become better at whatever position we are. Now, another very important soft skill is listening. Though it is part of effective communication, but I would like to emphasize a little on it. Why? Because there is a difference between hearing and listening. I would like to know from you all, what do you think is the difference between hearing and listening?
Ma'am, when we say hearing means we can just hear whatever sound is there. But when we say listening, it means we are much more attentive and we are trying to understand that what the communication is all about.
Correct.
And we
correct.
can able to recall better.
Absolutely right. When we are hearing, it is not out of our volition, not conscious. We consciously are not trying to hear it. Like for example, if there is a machine running here, and I'm in the I cannot help hearing it. I cannot help hearing it. I will keep hearing it if it is going on and my ears are all right. I will keep hearing it, even if I don't want to hear it. But listening is when you put conscious effort into listening something. That's why people say, when they say listen to your heart, they don't say hear your heart. They say listen to your heart. Why? Because it is conscious. You put an effort to understand, not only just hear, but understand it, comprehend it, what it is saying, what is being said. So listening attentively with an intention to respond or act upon if needed. That is what is listening. Giving attention with an intention to respond or act if it is needed for you to respond or to act. Now, listening to diverse opinions and perspectives different from yours, try to understand. This is again very important when it comes to listening, because many people they just shut down. They just shut down when it comes to perspectives that are very different from them. They don't want to hear. They don't want to listen. So that closes us, and that also limits our options and our experiences, and also our interactions with diverse groups. So listening is very important, and listening to diverse groups and diverse opinions is also very important. And when you listen to diverse point of views and perspectives, be very open. We should be very open. With an open mind, we should listen to whatever people are saying. It's not necessary for us to believe or take in everything that we hear, but at least listen to everything attentively. And then ponder on it, and then respond if needed. Innovation. Now, this is also very important soft skill. Making the best use of available resources to maximize gains and minimize efforts. Thinking out of box. So how will you be an innovative teacher? And with innovation, we also have another term, that is creativity, which is being able to create new things, designs, art, solutions, ideas. So anybody who can tell me how innovation and creativity are linked, or how they are different?
Innovative idea is putting forward new ideas in a, like normally we use the lecture method for teaching, but now our system of education is such that we are doing experiential learning, which is involving the students, and we are the facilitators. So that is a form of innovation which has been carried out.
Yes, that's an innovation that has been carried out. And when we talk about innovation and creativity, so what will be the difference between creativity and innovation? What will be the difference? Is there any difference, and how are these two related to each other?
Ma'am, innovations,
Creativity.
we required resources, something that we are in hand. But when we talk about the creativity, that creativity we can able to design in our mind also, or in a piece of paper, and it can be work it out better.
Yes, very good. So the thing is that when we talk about innovation is something
Hello,
that is introduced. Yeah, hello. Yeah,
ma'am. Innovations, it will be scientific or technical innovation, and creativity, it will be others also. It's not non-technical,
innovation can be
scientific.
in teaching practices also. Innovation can be in teaching practices, or even in evaluation methods.
Yes.
Can I add something?
Yes, please.
As far as innovation is concerned, we innovate something which is already existing. But when we create something new, it is always something which is not in existence.
Yeah.
So creativity is always new.
Yes. So for example, in all, let me just give you an example. For example, in all courses, you must have seen that there is always an exam. Students have to learn, and then they have to pass the exam in order to pass the course. So if you come up with a course where there are no exams, you don't take any exams, you teach, and you teach in different ways, as ma'am just said, experiential learning, and learning through say
integration of art
yeah,
integration.
yes, and also utilizing the knowledge that the child already has.
Yeah.
And different types of methods when we employ in creating such a course, then that will be a creativity, a creative idea. That course will be a creative a course, and something that we have created, that will be a specimen of creativity. But when of course it is in a system where evaluation is very important. Now how you innovate the examination system to evaluate these students without taking exam, that will be innovation. When you put your ideas to practice and you innovate, or you tweak the system that is already existing to fit with your creative ideas, you bring about innovations. For example, how will I evaluate the students without taking exams? Are there any ways? So we'll find innovative ideas and innovative ways of evaluating them without taking exams. So this is something that is very positive, innovation and creativity, and required a lot, especially when we are having online teaching. For example, project-based courses where the students are given a lot of freedom to explore their environment, to think about the social issues, and to amalgamate whatever they have learned so far in their areas of expertise, for example, science and technology, and come up with a innovative solution to some social problem, some social issue.
Very
Working
true.
on a project.
Pollution.
Yeah, related to pollution or related to energy or related to say gender sensitization or something that is beneficial and where you can apply your knowledge of the subject that you have, plus you can resolve or try to resolve or even understand a social issue better. Even that will be very good if a student who is in undergrad is able to understand a certain social issue from different perspectives and has a well-rounded and holistic perception of even one problem. Say if it is about clean energy. So even having that holistic perception about what it is and why it is needed and how we can bring it and what methods we can utilize, and just thinking in that direction, propelling their thoughts in that direction will be a very positive outcome of such a course. So that is innovation and creativity. And creativity comes about when we are not fearing. We don't fear failure. People who fear failure, they stick to the system. They don't think out of the box. Why? Because if I do this and it doesn't work out, then people are going to make fun of me. People will laugh at me. So when we don't fear failure, we have courage and we have confidence. We become creative. And you will see that this is the reason why children are the most creative, because they don't have the fear of failure. Small children, like say 6 years old, 7 years old, they don't have the fear of failure. They have courage. They are very courageous. They can speak truth to anyone. And they also have a lot of confidence. That's why they are the most creative people. So that is about creativity. This is also a very essential, innate human quality that all of us have. But gradually, we lose it. Many of us lose it. So it is very important for us to hone our skills, to make ourselves aware that we have these skills as well. Then problem solving. This is another soft skill that is very important. That is problem solving, and which is being able to resolve conflicts between different parties, providing solution to tricky situations in the workplace, ability to be a peacemaker and negotiator. When you can negotiate with different groups, like you will see that whenever there is an altercation between people, you will see that certain people are chosen to be the peacemaker and to negotiate the things. It is not given to anyone. It is given only to certain people. So what is this ability that those certain people have? They have this problem solving ability. Diplomacy will also be a part of problem solving ability, where you are not speaking very bluntly and very harshly, though you are putting across whatever you have to, but you are not using harsh and blunt words, because you see, then the entire point is lost and the only point left will be that you used very harsh words, you were impolite, you were disrespectful, and the entire agenda will be lost. So problem solving ability is very important. And as you can see that there are so many conflicts, not only like workplace is a very small place, but you will see that all across the world there are so many conflicts going on. So peace and conflict resolution is something that is very, very important, and people who can be peacemakers and negotiators across cultures, across nations, across departments in workplace are very important. So this is one ability that we need to inculcate. How? By being calm, by inculcating listening skills, listening to people properly, truly listening, trying to empathize with them, trying to understand their perspectives, not being judgmental, and not rushing to solution or conclusion. It takes time. So negotiations are a slow process and it takes time. It is easy to break anything, but it is very difficult to maintain things. So this is an art which we need to inculcate to work properly in our workplace as well as in our personal lives. This is problem solving ability is very important for our personal life as well. Conflicts between parents and children, age difference, conflicts between genders, conflicts between generations at home, different generations. They can't think on the same line. So resolving those issues will be we will be able to resolve those issues in a better manner if we inculcate the quality of problem solving in ourselves.
Can I ask something?
Yeah, please.
What happens that the problems that are in workplace, there are many times that you can solve it, but the same cannot happen at home also or in personal life. Why this means if you are able to solve personal problems, you are not able to solve the workplace problem. There is some.
Can you give me an example?
Like if there a student comes and he's very angry with the system itself, we can accommodate him. We can say to him that please be calm. I will able to help you, and I can solve his problem. Okay. But the same can never happen at home, because sometimes what happens, your children doesn't listen to you, whatever you say. So the peacemaking process in organization
at home,
at times is easier than at home.
Yeah, so the thing is that as I said, that we need to be calmer and more mindful. Like being a little detached would help, because we get very emotional when it comes to our family.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, we are deeply attached and deeply emotional when it comes to our children or our parents. We are possessive about them. So we cannot think of them harming themselves. Even if they are saying something, we will be agitated if they say that this is very bad, I'll leave this place, I'll go away. You will be agitated if your son says this. But if your student says this, you will be agitated, but a little less. You will be in a better position to reason. Why? Because you're a student.
Because we are not emotionally attached with those
students. We are not so emotionally, Okay. No, we are attached with our students, but with your child, of course, all human beings are attached the most to their children. Human beings are attached the most to their children. So if we try to lower down expectations, first thing, then detach ourselves from our environment, at least a little. Detaching doesn't mean that we become indifferent, that we turn into insensitive beings and we become indifferent. Detaching means that you just don't get emotional or give an emotional reaction outright. As I said, listen, comprehend, then respond. So taking the time is very important. What we do is we react. Instead of responding, we react. This also happens with students. It can happen with students also, that if a student of yours comes and tells you that they have done something horrible, all of a sudden your first reaction will be, it might be a sudden reaction that what have you done? You did a very wrong thing. So
thank you, ma'am.
That's why the important thing will be to practice mindfulness. Our own actions, our own emotional state, and our own reactions, whether we are responding or reacting. Two are different. Reaction is to stimuli, response is thought. Like once you comprehend and then you give a reply, that is response. But reaction is to the stimuli. Stimuli happens and you react. It's automatic. So just being mindful will be helpful in this regard, in my opinion. So soft skills in modern workplace. Now modern workplace, as we all know that there are so many technological interventions here taking place. We are moving towards artificial intelligence. We are also having a lot of application of internet and information and communication technology in our everyday life, and especially our workplace, especially since the pandemic has started. We have been teaching online, we have been having meetings online, group discussions online, research online, everything is online. So in these situations, these human-centric skills, they become more critical. Why? Because the ability to analyze data often utilizes basic artificial and intelligence algorithms. But we then require people to be able to interpret, share, utilize, and apply the information. It is the human beings who have to use the information that we are getting, also to interpret and to share it appropriately and to utilize. So unless we have these human-centric skills, we won't be able to even take benefit of the artificial intelligence workforce that we are getting. And that's why in modern day workplace, another very important aspect of modern day workplace is that it is frequently changing. As we all have been seeing for like past more than a year, that such a swift change we have seen from offline to online, from in-person to internet classes. So when you have the soft skills, you are adaptable, you are open to change, and you adjust better in the new work environment, changing work environment, because work environment is changing drastically and frequently. The way we work has changed a lot. So in order to adjust with that, we need to have better soft skills. And this will include better communication, better interactions with people across cultures, diverse age groups, diverse genders, and listening abilities and empathy and all the skills that we have discussed so far. So all of those soft skills are required in order to help us adjust better in the changing work environment, so that we become more valuable as professionals, as employees, and as people. Now coming to ethics in workplace. What are ethics? Anybody who can tell me what are ethics?
Can we say?
Ethics
Can we
is
say?
your-
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, somebody is saying values. Anybody else?
Which is right for us.
Which is right for us. Okay. So
following the rules and regulations.
Following the rules and regulations. Okay.
Ma'am,
Okay,
moral
so-
values. Ma'am, can we say moral values?
Moral values. But moral values might change from one person to another. For example, it may be more like morally, it may be wrong in India if two people are cohabiting without getting married. But in US, it is not a moral question. So morality may vary from culture to culture or from person to person also. But ethics, especially ethics at workplace, they won't. There are certain ethics that are part of our professional decorum, professional discipline, professional order. For example, the doctors, they take Hippocratic oath. That even if somebody who is their sworn enemy, even if they come, they will have to take care of that person as their patient. They cannot say a no. That is ethics of being a doctor. They are bonded by duty. Yes, code of conduct. That is also, you can say that is also part of the workplace ethics. In simple words, application of the knowledge of right and wrong in the workplace. What we assume as right and what we assume as wrong.
Abiding
In
by
our-
the rules of the workplace, is it ethics?
Yeah, rules of the workplace. See, rules of the workplace. Yes, in most of the professions, you do get a set of rules that we have to follow. For example, punctuality. Punctuality. So that will be part of responsibility. You are responsible. You are accountable. So you have to be punctual. In various professions, work ethics may vary, but for example, the kind of work ethics that a doctor is supposed to have, or like the oath of secrecy that a psychiatrist has to take, somebody who is doing a psychological counseling, industrial workers will not have that.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
varies from place to place, workplace to.
Yeah, from profession to profession it will
Yeah,
vary.
profession.
For example, the kind of responsibility that a teacher has. Somebody like, because teachers have what teachers have. Teachers are having the future of the nation in their hands. They teach and they build the nation. They are the ones from whose hands all the doctors and lawyers and engineers and politicians and everybody, all the administrative officers, they all come out. They are the people from whose class all of these people come out. So the kind of responsibility that a teacher has as part of their profession will be very different from the kind of responsibility, for example, a cricketer has. Yeah. So, but then there are certain professional work ethics that are same, that remain the same across all professions. Whatever profession you have, these are certain ethics that you should always try to maintain. Responsibility, being responsible for your work. Whatever work is assigned to you, being responsible for that. Accountability, being accountable for whatever work is given to you, your task, and accountable for success as well as for failures. Coming on time, being punctual, being responsive, all of these are part of this. Integrity, maintaining honesty and integrity, not getting into corrupt practices or even moral practices, like for example, not working properly during the work hours, or if you are negotiating with people, then you negotiate on certain terms and conditions that are not true and you know that they are not true. That often happens, at times certain people, in order to sell certain things, they might say certain things that are not true to their own knowledge, just to get the deal done. So this is something that a true professional will never do. They will always practice integrity. Transparency. In research also, transparency is very important. If somebody follows the same research method that you have followed under the same circumstances, then they should be able to reproduce and replicate the same kind of result that you got. So even that transparency is important. Transparency in work, transparency in teaching, from where the funds are coming, from where to where the funds are going, everything. In terms of project, maintaining the budget of the project, everything. Transparency is very important. Maintaining professional conduct, being a thorough professional. Now in the next section, I'll be telling you what is maintaining professional conduct, what it is to be a professional. So first of all, before we get into what it is to maintain professional conduct, what is professionalism? So professionalism is the quality of performing at a high level and conducting oneself with purpose and pride. So you take pride in whatever work you do, and you conduct yourself with a purpose that, yes, I have to accomplish something. So taking that kind of pride and sense of purpose, feeling that kind of sense of purpose in your profession is what is professionalism. It means doing much more than putting the hours and collecting the paycheck. That for these limited number of work hours, I'm in the office, and return of this, at the end of the month, I'll collect the paycheck. That is not being professional. Professionalism is to go beyond minimum expectations, to do things that will help you excel in your career in multiple roles. We all play, as teachers, we all play multiple roles. We also play roles of counselor, we play roles of peacemaker, negotiator, also at times those who are wardens of a local guardian. We do so many roles, and not all of those roles are actually part of just strictly saying academic job. Many of those are they become part of our work because we want to excel in our profession, and whatever work is assigned to us, we want to do it to the best of our ability, and at our heart we have the best intentions. We want the best for the students and for our colleagues. That's why we put in extra hours, we put in our time to consult the students. Even if somebody is not doing that, they won't be they won't be letting them off, or they won't be being shunted out. Nothing will happen to them. If somebody is not being a empathetic teacher, if they are not empathizing with students, they are not being nice, only thing that will happen is that the students won't love them. The students won't feel good about them. Their colleagues also won't feel good about them. In terms of money or in terms of position, it's not going to harm them. But that is not professionalism. Professionalism is that when you have pride in your profession, everything that you do, all the work that is assigned to you is part of your professional duty, be it wardenship, be it counseling the student as teacher beyond office hours, because your students need you. So in just feeling that responsibility on yourself and putting in those extra hours for the sake of those students, to make them happy, to make them fine, that is also part of this. That makes us feel fulfilled, gives us a sense of purpose and pride in our profession, that we are doing something that nobody else can replace. We are building the future of the nation. We are helping these children grow up and become beautiful citizens, useful citizens. So having this kind of purpose and pride is very important. Now, 6 traits of professionalism. Striving to excel. I've already said that whatever we do, we need to strive to excel in that, be it teaching, be it research, or be it administrative duties that are assigned to us. Then being dependable and accountable. A true professional is somebody who is dependable. If I say that I'll finish this today, I should be able to finish it today. I should be dependable. Like somebody is asking me to do something and I'm saying a yes, then it becomes my duty to fulfill that. So that is being dependable. Accountable for my work. The work that I do and the work that I don't do, I'm accountable for that. I'm responsible. I can be held to account. That why didn't you do this? Because it is my work. Being a team player, always when you are placed in a committee or in a team, then try to be as cordial with people, as friendly with people, and as welcoming with people as possible. But at the same time, maintain respect, politeness, and professional distance. So this mix is very important for being a good team player. And encouraging your colleagues in your team, encourage your colleagues to give their opinions, to talk about their ideas and build upon those ideas. You can be a part of that, collaborate, build huge projects across the continents. It is all possible. Only we think about us and not just about I. So demonstrating a sense of etiquette. This is again very important, as I said, that being mindful of other people's privacy, being mindful of what we are doing, what we are saying, what we are hearing, and what we are passing on. That is, avoid gossiping, avoid chit-chatting here and there, or avoid passing on information that you do not know whether it is true or not. If you do not know whether it is true or not, you keep it to yourself. Don't pass it on. Being respectful.
Polite behavior also, ma'am?
Yeah.
Etiquette, sense of etiquette or polite behavior?
Yeah, polite behavior is very important. Being polite and maintaining etiquette. Always being respectful, being courteous. These are very important. When you address people, always address them as either Mr., Miss, Mrs., Doctor, Professor, whatever uh, 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 they put before their name, always use it. And always address them respectfully. Always address people respectfully. And of course, we can address people who are our colleagues by their first name if they are comfortable. But then that is something that they need to tell you. For example, I said that you all can call me Sabiha. So I'm comfortable if you call me Sabiha. So I won't feel disrespected if you call me Sabiha. So similarly, so if somebody is comfortable, you can of course call them by their first name or even by their nickname. Like in America, even presidents, they also are known as known by their nicknames, and people call them by their nicknames. So there is also cultural difference. So we need to be mindful of these differences. For example, in America, if a child comes to your home, like with your child, they are supposed to address you as Mr. and Mrs. so and so, whatever your last name is. So for example, John, so Mr. and Mrs. John. But if in India your child brings a friend home, that child is not supposed to address you as Mrs. so and so. They will address you as auntie, right? We will not like it if our children's friends, they start calling us by our name. We will not like it. Yeah. So these are cultural differences, and etiquette also differs from culture to culture. So we need to be mindful of this. Now, of course, then making ethical decisions that we make in our profession, they need to be ethical. Always think that, am I being ethical? For example, if you are writing a project and that project has certain environmental hazards, should you mention it or should you not mention it? You should mention it. If you know about it, you should mention it. And how you are going to cope up with it, do you have a plan? You should also mention that. And if it gets the clearance, then of course you can go ahead with it. But hiding an obvious hazard, hiding anything that is obvious to you, that is known to you, and communicating to other people only the half truth is unethical, professionally or personally, both ways. So always try to maintain highest professional and personal ethical levels. This is also like, because we are teachers, what we do is what our students and our children at home, they learn. If I say always practice integrity and I don't come on time, my students will understand that this is just something that is said, it is not done. So I need to be there 10 minutes before time if I want my students to be punctual and practice integrity in all they say and do. I need to show integrity, I need to show punctuality. Only then they'll know that being punctual is important. So being ethical in our professional and personal life is very important. And here we are talking about professionalism. So of course, holding highest professional standards of ethical practices is very important. In terms of finances, in terms of project, in terms of your relationships with your colleagues, staff members, your students, your project staff, everyone. Maintaining a positive outlook. This is another very important professional trait, that whatever the situation is, we always maintain a positive outlook and we try to find a way out. For example, when this pandemic happened, we maintained a positive outlook, and only because of that, we were able to cope up and put our classes online. From in-person classes, everything was shifted. Within a matter of days, everything was shifted online. So that happened. That could happen only because of the positive outlook that the teachers have. And teachers should be applauded for this, because many of the teachers were not very well versed with the online platforms. They also learned while they were teaching how to use it. So that is professional integrity. That is maintaining professionalism. You did not give up on your profession, and you learned while you were teaching also. You kept working, learning and doing everything together. So that is something that is laudable. So now the last thing that I want to tell you is that when you conduct yourself like a professional, You communicate that you are a professional, whatever profession you come from. No work is less or no work is more. So there should be dignity of labor. Whatever work we do, whether we are getting paid for it. For example, there are women who are homemakers. They don't get paid for the work that they do, but it is no less than anybody else's work, right? So whatever work we do, if we take pride in that and carry ourselves with a sense of purpose, we excel at it. And in terms of our professional life in workplace, when we conduct ourselves like a professional, we communicate it to others that we are professionals and we mean work. We get work done. We mean business, we mean work, and we mean professional conduct. So as conclusion, we can say that at the end of this lecture and discussion that we had, that in order to be thorough professionals, we need to develop soft skills and be ethical in our professional and personal dealings. So now if you all have any questions, you may please ask me, and thank you very much for your time, attention, and for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a lot. Let's see.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Queries if you need to discuss with, please.
Yes, you may discuss. We still have time, so you may discuss. I wanted to finish it 10-15 minutes before time, so we can have the time for discussion. So if you have any questions, you have any comments, you want to tell me something, you want to elaborate on anything, please go ahead. I'm here to listen.
Madam, your presentation is so clear and crisp. Actually, I don't have any questions. Really, I enjoyed your presentation. It's very informative. And really, we could get a clear idea of all the things. We know soft skills, but still you put it nicely, point by point. So we have a good idea and we have a good understanding about the topic. Thank you very much, madam.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
It was really wonderful, ma'am. I just wanted to share one. When
Yes,
you said
please.
with workplace adaptability, like I have seen my brother, like every 2-3 years, he is an IT. So like he's an electronics engineer, he switches from one office to other, say from Cognizant, then to other one. So is it his non-adaptability or his aim to move to a higher post, or I'm not able to understand because it doesn't discuss with me the professionalism. Why is so often switching off? Means every 3 years off at a maximum 4 years. He remains and switches off.
Dr. Ruma De, so it is something that is common for IT professionals. IT professionals do change their jobs frequently because technology is swiftly changing, and from when they acquire new skills and they see a position where they can apply those skills, they move to the new place. And of course, they also get huge jumps in their careers in terms of money that they are making. So if you acquire new skills and after 3-4 years of working in a certain kind of project, you go to another company, you may get a huge jump. So that's a different kind of industry, very different from our profession.
Okay. Because sometimes we get a tension that whether he will survive in this job industry or no. That is what I thought of consulting you after when you said job adaptability.
It also depends on your age, like what is his age. If he is in his early career, then he will do some
he's in his early career.
After some time, so after some time he'll settle.
Yeah,
so my brother is also an engineer, and my brother is also an engineer, and he has also jumped, not just jumped from jobs to jobs or companies to companies, from countries to countries also.
Okay.
So he has shifted from, he was in Poland and then he shifted from Poland to now he's in Germany. So
madam, it is said if you're very intelligent, you won't cling to one place more than 5 years. That's what people say.
Sir.
And,
that's a compliment then.
Yes.
Ma'am, one more thing that if you are sticking, because this is a new culture which is just developed, in our ages, it is always said that if you are sticking to a one company, you are the best. But now it is just
Yeah.
reverse, that if you are
Yeah,
sticking
now
to
it
a
is not
one
like that.
company, so it means you
Yes.
are not, no one is taking you, and you do not know your potential, you do not know the work. So if you are just going to
Okay.
stick for a longer time, your value
Yeah.
will be less.
Also, times have changed and the generations have changed a lot. Like earlier, for example, my father's generation, they would prefer stability. For them, stability was very important. So sticking to one company or one institution was important. Now for youngsters, for them, adventure and doing well in their career, all of these things are more important. Their personal gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So
that is a
how
point,
can-
ma'am.
yeah.
That is a
How
point.
can I get more fulfillment from my life?
Yeah.
So it's not about stability anymore. It's about other things. More fulfillment, more adventures, better career, better
Okay.
money, everything.
Okay.
One more point, when it's a discussion, it is also impact of the joint family, because previously when we had a joint family, so where people do not want to move from their own space, but now the joint
Yeah.
family concept is getting less and less every year, or you can say decades. So
Yes,
that
yes,
is
of
also
course.
one of the reasons.
The social structure is changing. Social structure is changing. Norms are changing, and that's why these things will change. These will keep on changing. Like our grandfather's generation was different from our father's generation. We are different from our father's generation. Very different. So,
Okay.
so society keeps changing.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Good I talk with you. At least I can transfer to my father. Good.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
It's
very
nothing
tense on
to
his
worry.
ever-changing places and jobs.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's nothing to worry about. It's all right. He will do well in his career.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, you have
Yeah.
explained all the things in very well. So many things. But I just I want to ask that, is there any book, soft skill, which you want to suggest us? Book
About?
for reading, for soft,
For professional.
own.
Yeah. So I read different books. Like what I was talking to you about is not from any one textbook, from various articles and various books.
Yes.
So if you want, I can send you a reading list. Yeah.
Definitely, ma'am. That is what my question. Thank you.
Yes. So, like for example, there is a book on that is about business and professional communication. Then there is a book about professionalism. Then there is a book on say a lot of books like you will see. I would not recommend self-help books. I would not recommend self-help books, but yeah, textbooks that talk about value education or professional communication. There is a very good book that is about research communication, but then that is specifically about research communication, written research communication specifically. Yeah, I'll wait 1 second. I'll just show you one book.
Definitely.
Let me get the book. Yeah, let me get the book. So this is one book. This is Business Communication Today. I don't know whether you can see it or not. This is one book. Then I read a lot of books on culture. So because I am into linguistics. So for example, culture and imperialism, or Indian nationalism, so many. The idea of India. Yeah, many books like that I keep reading. Yeah, so that we also have another, and also on internet. You will find a lot of material on internet also, on different universities' websites, where they because now many courses are online, so you can find and access a lot of material online as well. So yes, there is another question. Do you think in the fast changing and materialistic society, maintaining high ethical values possible? Well, that depends on what you call as ethics. If you feel that ethics are certain values that keep you down or that hinder your professional growth, then that is not correct. Because you see, if somebody is unethical, then nobody would want to work with them. If somebody is unethical, they tell lies, they are dishonest, then nobody would want to work with them. So that will not lead to professional growth. In fact, being unethical is going to hinder professional growth. Of course, the world is fast changing and materialistic society is also there. The society is becoming materialistic. But even then, in your professional life, you can hold the highest ethical standards. How? By maintaining integrity, by being responsible for the work you do, by being accountable for the work you do, by demonstrating a sense of etiquette and respect towards everyone. And this is irrespective of the workplace wherever you go. Even if it is fast changing, all of these ethical values will stand the test of time. They will never go out of fashion, and they will only promote your growth. They will never hinder your growth. You see, it is like the race between the hare and the tortoise. So it's not about who wins in the short term. It's about who wins in the long term. And unless and until you don't keep working constantly and follow the ethical values of hard work, dedication, being responsible, holding higher standards of integrity, you will not achieve success that is fulfilling. You see, this is the reason why we see so many people having so much money and material possession, but still they do not have satisfaction, fulfillment in life. Yes, there are many people who have their mics open. If you have to say anything, you may say something. Otherwise, it is hindering the session here. Yeah. Any more questions?
Madam, I don't know this is relevant since you are saying you are involved in a lot of reading in culture. This Afghanistan issue, no, what is the main issue? Why the Taliban are so narrow-minded and so aggressive and dominating and violent? As a linguist, how do you look at it?
Well, I can, as a human being and also as somebody who studies social sciences and humanities, I can tell you that it is due to their narrow interpretation of the religion that they say that they follow.
Oh my God!
It is, yeah, it is the narrowest possible interpretation of the religion that they say that they follow, and even they do not know what they are following.
Madam, basically, I am a cognitive therapist. Is it possible to restructure their cognition? They require cognitive behavior therapy.
Yes.
Will you all please switch off the mic? The speaker who wants to speak with the eminent speaker, let them speak. Yeah. Others, please mute your mics. Yeah, please come.
Yes. Yes, Professor Dr. Ram Gopal, you were saying something.
Yeah. The thing is, see, I'm a cognitive behavior therapist. Is it really possible to restructure their cognition? They have such a hardcore belief that they have some religious code and all they want to follow. It's not fair, madam. It's not.
The problem is that when any person gets into this is the problem, gets into this sense of self that I am everything and I am above everyone. That's why I say that it is very important to listen to different people, to different perspectives, to different diverse experiences, so that you don't start thinking that I know everything and I am everything. I'm all.
That's true.
Nobody is all. Nobody can ever be all.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is their problem. When people have less amount of knowledge, they think that they are very knowledgeable. As the amount of knowledge increases, the confidence decreases. They don't have knowledge of the religion that they profess. Yeah.
True, yeah.
If they'll have the confidence, they will not be able to. If they'll have the knowledge, they will not be able to interpret it in this narrow manner so confidently, the way they are interpreting it. Yeah,
Okay,
any
thank you.
religion, if you believe that there is a God, then and the God who created everyone, God would not want anybody to cry and anybody to die and anybody to
Sure,
kill
yeah.
anyone,
Sure.
right?
You want to get killed also.
Yeah, or want to
Writer,
get
the way she
killed or
was
any
killed.
of those things,
Yeah.
or make other people's life hell. No,
That's
but no God would want you to do that.
True, madam. Very much
So
true.
that's a very simple reasoning, that if in all religions, in all religious books, you get this about God, that God is the most compassionate and the most loving, then why the most compassionate and most loving will want anybody to be killed in God's name? That both the things cannot be true, right? So they need to reason and they need to read, which unfortunately they will never do.
That's very sad. Very.
So yeah, that's sad. Of course, that's very sad that many people just whatever little knowledge they have, they try to impose their beliefs on others. That's the worst thing that you can do.
True. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, all of you. And if I was unable to answer some of your questions, you may send me emails.
It was a wonderful session, madam.
Thank you very much.
Quite a good
I'm giving you my email address. And if you feel like asking me anything, you can always drop me an email. Okay. And the reading list also, I remember, I'll send you the reading list of all the papers and books that I feel would be essential for you to know more about ethics and professionalism. Of course, this is a very good book, Business Communication Today. If you need to know about professional communication and about professionalism also, that's a very good book. But other books also I'll be telling you about. This is by Cortland L. Bobby, John V. Thill, and Roshan Lal Raina. These are 3 authors who have written this.
Ma'am, your mail address did not come in the chat box. It's not reflected.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
I guess it went to only one person who had commented earlier.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Here.
Yes, ma'am. Now we got.
Okay.
Yeah, now got it.
Now you all got it? So you can
Yes.
always drop me a line, send me an email, and I'll reply
Thank you.
as soon as possible.
For this opportunity or this link.
And thank you. Thanks a lot, all of you, for attending the session and being patient with me.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much
Thank you, Dr.
for
Fareen.
your
Thanks a lot.
valuable time. I know how busy you're there with you, the new institution that you are working out over there. You yesterday
Yeah.
also have revealed that how much seriously you have been actively carried on with your routine works, routine academic and research works. So thank you so much. In the middle of all this, you have been here and being a part of
Thanks
this
a lot.
meeting.
Thanks a lot for inviting me. It was a lovely session, and thanks a lot to all the participants. And please feel free to drop in a line whenever you feel like asking me anything. Okay. So I'll see you all sometime again. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye. Take care.
Fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Yeah. So audience, will you please switch on your camera? There are people who may not be in the evening session. I just want to have all your video on so then we can have a gallery screenshot. Please switch on. Switch on your camera, please. Everybody.
Switch on your camera.
Please switch on your camera, everybody. Thank you then. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
See
Thank
you
you, ma'am.
again by
Thank you.
2:30.
Then the next session will
Thank you,
start at
thank you, ma'am.
4:30.
2:30.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Usual
Okay,
time. Yes.
okay,
Thank you all.
okay.
Let me end the session.
Okay, okay.